Yeah, Swapna, go ahead.
This meeting is being recorded.
So Shashvatah is apakshya vivarjitah. Apakshya is will decline.
Apakshaya.
Will decline.
Correct. Apakshaya means decline.
So vivarjita is what?
So vivarjitaha. Varjitaha means absence of. Rahitaha. So vivarjitaha also. Visheshena varjitaha. Never. Impossible to have any idea of decline. Because the minute there's some slight decline is there, that slight will become big after some time. Therefore, vivarjitaha.
Play of words. So vikara and vikriya. What is the?
Both are identical. Both mean the same. Both mean the same.
What is the form? How does it?
Vikriya. So, see, there are two different prefixes that convert. One converts kri to kriya, another converts kri to kara. Ganj makes it kara, and kriya does something else. Kriya, there is some other pratyaya, I don't know. But both mean vikaraha. Both mean change. Vikriya also is change. Vikaraha also is change. Yeah. Yeah. Hariji, go ahead.
Hariam, good, it is answered. I was to ask the same question.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
we're learning new words.
Yeah. Especially me.
All of us are learning. Yeah. See, we may have heard all these words, but we haven't spent understanding understanding these things. So yeah. Yeah, next, Hemavati ji.
I have that we have the word kirti and apakirti, isn't it? Kirti, apakirti means opposite of kirti. Okay.
Correct.
But here that kshaya, apakshaya doesn't mean that opposite.
Correct. Apakshaya is equal to kshaya. Correct.
But apakirti is opposite of kirti, no?
Correct. See, mana and apamana. Mana means praise, pride, etc. Apamana means insult. Opposite of praise, opposite of pride. So
apakshaya means
kshaya.
not.
Apakshaya means
Kshaya only.
Correct. Yeah, you should look into that. Kalpadharma, etc. See what they say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
That means the prefix, the function of the prefix sometimes is dependent on the dhatu also.
Oh.
Or it could be the way it has been used traditionally. Traditionally, it may have been used to mean kshaya, and therefore apakshaya means kshaya.
See, actually, that kshaya rogam is also there. It's a wasting disease. Waste. Kshaya roga. Tuberculosis also, they call it kshaya roga. So kshaya means decline, wasting away, or whatever it is.
Correct.
So, but here that apak also enhances the declining quality of it. It doesn't mean the opposite.
It does not mean the opposite. Correct.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhaashyam.
Sure. Yeah, Maheshji, go ahead.
I have two questions. One is that last Shatvigara is that Vinashyati, we said Nam Riyate, and then we said Nityaha. It should be Anityaha, right?
Yeah, so what we are saying is this. The word Nityaha in the mantra negates Vinashyati. That is what we are. Yeah, they are not literally, they're opposites of each other, so to speak. We are listing all the words in the mantra which
Negates the.
which negate the Shadvikara.
Okay. Because Jayate, Ajaha, same way.
Correct.
Okay. My second question is, the last class.
Not Jayate, it must be Na Jayate.
Yeah. So in the last class, we discussed in the Omkara that we said Nirguna Brahman and Saguna Brahman, right?
Okay.
So my question is, by definition, Brahman is Nirguna, isn't it?
Okay.
So why do we qualify that as Nirgunam? Just saying Brahman isn't that enough?
It is enough, but our perception is all there. Our world, see, our access to Nirgunam is through Sagunam only.
Yeah, that's my other part. Part B was, isn't it kind of contradicting, because Brahman by definition is Nirguna, and then we say it has a Saguna. So is Saguna Brahma is Ishvara?
Yeah, Saguna Brahma is Bhagavan, Ishvara. And to contrast that from the real Brahma, which is Nirguna Brahma, we have to say.
So can we say like Ishvara and Brahman?
Yeah, you can say Ishvara and Brahman. That's fine. You can say that. Just to be explicit, where you have to say Nirgunam. By saying Nirgunam Brahma, so Nirgunam Brahma, when we say, Nirgunam is not an attribute of Brahma. Sagunam Brahma, when we say, it does not mean Brahma with attributes.
Okay.
Means Brahma which is appearing to me in the form of various attributes. The meaning of Saguna Brahma. It doesn't mean Brahma gaining attributes. Brahma cannot gain attributes. So that we can keep in the back of our mind. Like clay. Clay can never gain any attribute. Whatever clay has, okay, in this case, of course, clay has color, etc. But clay remains clay. That's it. Nobody else can give clay any extra attributes. Neither can anybody take away the attributes of clay. Like that. But we say pot. Why? Because pot is our first impression is pot. Then only you say, oh, clay pot. That's why the Saguna form is very important. Yeah, Hariji, go ahead.
See, when we talk about Saguna and Nirguna, Brahman, in Bhagavad Gita, in different, at various occasions, they say God and gods. One is God, the other is plural gods. With a small g, when you say God, then they give capital G-O-D. Whereas gods, small G-O-D-S. So this Saguna Brahma can be equated to gods, and Nirguna Brahma can we equate that to God?
See, I have to look at which mantra, where they are using uppercase, etc. We need to see.
Okay, God and gods.
So therefore, I am not going to use the word God and gods as a basis. I am going to use Saguna Brahma and Nirguna Brahma as basis. And then go with that. And better not to translate Nirguna Brahma as G-O-D uppercase God. Better not to translate like that. Because you may understand it correctly, but somebody else is going to misunderstand it. Immediately misunderstand. Whole world will misunderstand, in fact. Okay. Therefore, better not translate Nirguna Brahma as God. Saguna Brahma should be understood as Saguna Brahma. That is better because our understanding has improved now, right? Therefore, what we can say is the plural and all when they use, yeah, so they're all Saguna Brahma only. Because Saguna Brahma, if you say, then
Devatas, you know, they say
Avataras, yeah, all these will come. So that's okay. we can say. But then why not uppercase G and then plural? What's wrong with that? So that's an English thing. So you can write whatever you want in English, but make sure we understand or we communicate the right thing. That's my point. Sometimes Godhead, so, or Supreme Godhead. Then Supreme Godhead is also there. Where do you go with all this? See, lowercase God, then lowercase gods, then uppercase God, uppercase Godhead, uppercase Supreme Godhead. So it's you take it aside and you try to interpret whatever you want based on what he's saying, but you have to go to the Moola Mantram and then understand what Shankaracharya is saying. That's what we have to understand. Then we can. That is why sometimes better not to use these words. Just stick with Brahma, stick with Ishvara, stick with Bhagavan, and rather than get into this English translations. Some of these words will give that kind of problem for us if you start translating. That's why if you notice, I don't use those words, God and all. We stick with the Sanskrit words. Hariji, does that help?
Okay.
So it's an important thing. The lesson we learned from this dialogue is that there are some words which if you begin to translate into English is a trap. It becomes a trap for us. Yeah, it's okay. Some English translation is there. But even in the English translation of the mantra, if the author is really wanting to communicate, will not give an English word for the word. Like karma. We just say karma, that's it, over. Fatalism. Now, the minute you put fatalism, then all kinds of questions will come. Everybody will raise their hands. Guruji, what about this life? Do I have avatara? Do I have free will? All these questions will start coming. Karma. Just leave it like that. Okay, Swapna, go ahead.
So the word apavada means reasoning. Is that what it is?
Apavada means this one, negation. Yeah. So adhyaropa and then apavada. Okay. Adhyaropa is a projection. Then you negate the projection. That's called that. You negate the snake. Okay.
Dhanyavada.
Right.
You get a bit of different meaning when you go to the vernaculars. In Malayalam and all, you say apavada means a rumor, an allegation.
Correct. Vijay, go ahead.
Guruji, you mentioned about body being jada, but it is appearing or as though having sentiency. Now, which means that Atma is reflecting that Chaitanya through body, mind, all those things. Now, so in case of people who are probably in coma or given anesthesia and body is not able to reflect, how would we say, how is that Atma manifesting, or how would you give an explanation to that?
Right. So the question is coma. Coma patients are there. They don't seem to have, they're not conscious of anything. For months they can be in coma and then they come back and they're normal, they're conscious, etc. Right? So that's the question. What happened? What about Atma? Well, okay, human being is in coma. Is this part in coma or not?
Seems like, yeah. No, if we look at it as clay and pot, then different. But Brahman and pot, then the Batman is not reflecting, not giving that sentiency to that.
Correct. Atma is not giving its consciousness to the pot. That consciousness is not manifest in the pot. Pot does not have the capacity to absorb the consciousness of Atma. The Upadhi is like that. Same way, person in coma. Coma means what? When the person loses the capacity to absorb the consciousness of Atma, then we say that person is in coma because the person is still breathing, breath is still there. Otherwise, we will say dead. But no, person is very much alive, but in coma. Therefore, the capacity is not there. That means what? The human being also can gain the capacity, lose the capacity. Gain the capacity, lose the capacity. While alive also. That is the meaning. Therefore, coma does not mean Atma is gone or anything like that. It means that Chaitanya Tvam is not manifest. It's not manifest. That is the meaning. Yeah, correct. Okay, good. So we can stop with that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Thank you.